Selena Gomez may be a pop star and a Hollywood actress, but her real power comes from something we both have access to: vulnerable storytelling. Today, we are breaking down how Selena Gomez has built an empire by showing us the real, unpolished her, and why you should do that too. What does Selena Gomez's vulnerable storytelling have to do with you as a creator who doesn't have 417 million Instagram followers? The reason I chose Selena Gomez is because her storytelling strategy centers on her vulnerability, which is something most creators now need to show in their content, but are also scared to show in their content. Selena Gomez is a pop star. She's a former Disney star. She could have totally built her brand based on polish and perfection and distance from her fans, but she didn't. Instead, she is raw and rare, if you catch my drift. And honestly, that's why her storytelling works. So let's take a look at it and how you can apply it across your brand. Welcome to Story Caffeine, where I help creators and coaches and entrepreneurs become strategic storytellers so you can build a binge-worthy brand. Lesson number 1, share the messy. So let's talk about Selena Gomez's documentary, My Mind and Me, which was released on Apple Plus, not on YouTube, but there are some things that we can take away as a YouTube creator, because this is where I believe Selena's voice, her storytelling style, really came into focus. She shared a lot of messy stuff in her life, and it was messy stuff that she hadn't even figured out yet. Like, she was in the process of figuring it out, and she shared that. And that is something that we can do more of as YouTube creators. Instead of sharing a bunch of tips and lessons and tutorials, if we share them from the perspective of, this is what's working for me and I'm figuring this out in real time too, we could take a page out of Selena Gomez's playbook. She let people see her at her most human. And in a world of increasing AI, we all need to be a little bit better at that. Where I think a lot of creators get confused is that that doesn't mean creating one video where you tell a personal story. That's not what I'm talking about. I have a whole video on the difference between telling a story and storytelling, which I invite you to check out. But that is telling a story. I'm talking about storytelling. So the storytelling across Selena's brand strategy is vulnerable. Selena Gomez has a lot of content channels, right? She's a musician, so she's got her music. She's a Hollywood actress, so she's got her movies and her television show that she's on. She has done several television shows, some non-scripted, some scripted. And then she has her brand, right? She has her makeup brand as well. So she weaves that vulnerable storytelling across all of those content pillars. And that is what I'm talking about. She then shared her bipolar diagnosis on Miley Cyrus's Instagram Live podcast. If you remember that, it was a really good podcast. I wish she continued it. But that was another moment where she was processing something in real time, and she shared that with us. But I specifically want to focus on her recent album, because she started that album not with a song, but with an audio clip, a very vulnerable, emotional audio clip of her thanking her fans for the journey that we've been on with her. And so she used her vulnerability as an anchor in that album. If we're talking YouTube metaphors, it was the hook. And then if we look at YouTube, she continued that kind of strategy. Now, of course, she posted audio clips from the album. That's very typical for an album rollout. But she also included a short film that she made with her boyfriend, Benny Blanco, where she showed the behind the scenes process of recording that album. So she put personal storytelling front and center in her YouTube rollout in a way that felt very YouTube as well. And it let her fans into her life, into her vulnerability, and her process for making the album. She also had a mix of songs that were in English and Spanish, which I really like. She has a multicultural heritage, and I like how she was weaving that very naturally into the album. And that connected to me because I also come from a multicultural identity. My dad is Cuban, he's half Cuban actually. So he also comes from intergenerational multicultural identity. My dad's a conga player, my grandfather also was a conga player. So I particularly connected to that. But I think there are a lot of creators who want to bring their identity or cultural identity into their content. And there are many ways that you can do that. You could do it like Selena, where she has a particular song that she releases that's in Spanish. The parallel to that would be making a particular video that's about your cultural heritage, but you also could weave that in as a narrative arc. So it's not necessarily that you're creating a video where you're exploring that aspect of your identity, but it becomes just a part of your content. It becomes a part of your story. It becomes a part of your character, as it has with Selena. Her multicultural identity has been a part of her character, her brand, and she weaves that very naturally in the content that she produces. Selena just isn't afraid to be vulnerable, to be messy, to be herself, to share things as she is processing them. And that is something that you can apply in your content. Share your messy story. People trust you more when you let them in before the ending. And if you need help weaving your story into your content, I do offer one-on-one coaching. In fact, I have a special going on this month. So if that's something that you're interested in, I will put the link in my description. Lesson number 2, your authenticity is your brand. The other reason that I wanted to talk about Selena Gomez is she is not only an actress and a musician, she also is the founder of a makeup brand called Rare Beauty. So much of her content is founder-led marketing, just like you. On the surface, Rare Beauty could seem like another influencer makeup brand, but the storytelling goes much deeper. Selena has weaved her DNA, her own vulnerability, into the brand story. It's about imperfections, it's about acceptance, it's about mental health. So it's not just another product line by a celebrity, it's a billion-dollar business with a story that people believe in. Selena Gomez has made mental health not just a part of her personal brand, but also a part of her products. And notice, it doesn't feel like PR. It feels like a natural extension of her story. So the lesson for creators is that when you stand for something, you're not competing for clicks anymore. You're building a community. People come for your content, but they stay because they believe in you. Your offer, whether it is a course or whether it is a membership community or whether it's a digital product, feels stronger when it's rooted in a story your audience actually feels, like Rare Beauty. I actually built a storytelling kit that helps you find this authentic storytelling for your brand and your channel. So I will put that link in my description as well. Lesson number 3, long form content creates deeper connection. Selena Gomez and Rare Beauty are great on Instagram and TikTok. So they have a great handle on short form content, but they're also really great at releasing strategic long form content. In addition to My Mind and Me, which was released on Apple, Selena also released a cooking series on HBO Max. And you'll notice even with that series, which was a cooking series, she very much admitted she didn't know what she was doing. She was burning things, she was making mistakes. That same vulnerability and honesty and authenticity was weaved into that series as well. Then there's YouTube. She's appeared on podcasts. Most recently, she appeared on Therapist, where she talked about a whole bunch of things, but mental health being one of the core topics that she talked about. Just like Taylor's appearance on the New Heights podcast. Podcasts are long and they're raw and they kind of go all over the place. They typically are not heavily edited. And so her vulnerability and candidness really gets to shine through that. So the lesson for creators is, if you are releasing videos that are 10 minutes and under, look at your retention. If the retention is under 30%, you should stick with that time length and really work on improving the retention. But if your retention is over 30% on videos that are 10 minutes and under, start exploring longer videos so that you can have a deeper connection with your audience. If Selena Gomez could turn her vulnerability into a superpower, imagine what you can do on your channel. Until next time, keep creating and keep thinking like a showrunner.